Will big changes to education arrive in Florida? The governor is leading the charge to get rid of the Florida Standards Assessment. Will everyone support saying goodbye to the FSA?
This is good news for our students, for our parents, for our teachers, and for our public schools. Educators and parents have been saying for a while, we shouldn't just focus on one high-stakes test.
We'll hear from the Florida Education Association president. We're also hosting Jacksonville's Tracy Davis. She serves on a House Education Committee. Stay with us for their views on This Week in Jacksonville. And thank you for joining us today. We'll be joined by that state lawmaker in just a moment. The state's chief executive announced this week that he wants to get rid of the Florida Standards Assessment, commonly known as FSAs. Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran is squarely in favor of that, too.
We always say the FSA is an autopsy. We basically wait at the end of the year, we have this autopsy, and we don't even have the data till the beginning of the next year. When you eliminate or reduce testing, guess what happens? That's more teaching. And more teaching means you're giving those kids a better education, and they're going to be able to go out there, be great citizens, and live a great life.
And Jacksonville's Tracy Davis is going to join us right now from Jacksonville, state representative and a member of the Early Learning and Elementary Education Subcommittee, also a teacher at the beginning of your career. Thank you for joining us by Zoom. Representative Davis, first thoughts when the governor made that announcement to end FSAs?
Well, first of all, thank you, Kent, for having me here. But first initial thought was, what assessment will take over? What will we replace the FSA with if we're now talking about doing progress monitoring? And I know our school boards and our teachers, especially the Florida Education Association, have been wanting this for some time. So I have to say I appreciate the governor for recognizing the stress that our teachers and our students have endured with this high stakes testing of the FSA. But I really am interested to know what will replace it. And I've actually heard from some of our teachers that they're not so sure that it's more work for them.
How about that? Well, so let's focus on FSAs for just a moment. The title there includes standards. Some will say, well, why don't we want to hold students to high standards? What would you say to that?
Well, I think we must have an equitable system in place. And so we all definitely still want standards, but we have to have an equitable system in place to ensure that we're meeting our students where they are. And that's the most important thing. I was a special education teacher myself, and it's about teaching the students from the point they are in order to see the progress, in order to allow them the opportunity to demonstrate their growth and progress, and then be able to allow the teacher to recognize that and praise that, which is what the students deserve. And that's, if that's the system we have in place that's equitable, then I think we'll all agree to that. But those are just some questions, and we still have a lot more questions to be answered with this.
So I want to look at the old and the new kind of side by side. After this school year's exams, Governor DeSantis says that he wants to dump the FSAs and then replace it with a new program, FAST is the acronym, or Florida's Assessment of Student Thinking. And if it's passed by lawmakers like State Representative Davis, it'll start next school year. The biggest benefit, we're told, is time. New progress monitoring tests would be 3 smaller tests that take hours in the fall, winter, and spring, instead of a big round of FSAs at the end of each year, which takes days. The governor's plan based on the recently adopted BEST standards, while the FSA is rooted in Common Core. And this new plan, we're told, would allow more customization for individual students versus the standardized exams of the last 20 years. So, Representative Davis, put your teacher hat back on there. How do you feel about that new format proposed there?
It's hard to be really excited because, like I said, Kent, there's still a number of questions to be answered. Again, appreciative of the governor recognizing the stress that the FSA caused for teachers and students and probably parents. But I have to say I have a lot of questions there. You know, will this new structure, which we don't know, how will it affect the bonus structure? Because a lot of what the teachers are given is tied to the student performance. Our teacher pay is tied to student performance. Our school grades are tied to student performance. So there are a lot of questions to still answer as to how will this be implemented the assessment process, what will be the assessment process, how often will the students be assessed? Will they be assessed 3 times a year? Will they be assessed 4 times a year?
Right.
I know what the governor has said, but again, we don't have any real answers.
Yeah.
And whatever assessment or evaluation that's put in place, I'm really hoping that our school boards, our superintendents, and our teachers, as well as our unions, have the ability to put some input into the implementation of whatever the assessment is.
So the governor's announcement this week says legislative proposal, I'm going to read it here, will reduce test time by 75%, give teachers and parents more impactful and timely input, and fully eliminate Common Core. Do you see those as benefits if that is really what's going to happen?
I do see it as benefits. If you're taking away a test, FSA, that literally had our teachers teaching an exam for one entire year. So now you're replacing that with, we're going to ask the questions over and over, how many exams? And again, it does go back to some of the teachers saying, is this going to be more work, or is it truly going to be more time for the teachers to teach and our children to learn and have the opportunity for growth and progress? So I do think there's an opportunity for more teaching time. But we still have a ton of questions to be answered.
Yeah. You're a Democrat, the governor's a Republican, often don't really see eye to eye on some of these issues like education. Was it a surprise to you that the governor took this stance and said, yep, let's get rid of FSAs?
Not a surprise, Ken. And the only thing I'll say, we're headed into 2022, which is an election season. And so I'll end it right there. It's a benefit for our parents. This is a benefit for our teachers. It's a benefit for our students, but we must not forget this is an election season.
So wrap it up here. You're headed back to, are you going to Tallahassee? Committee weeks start coming up, right? Yes,
we head back to Tallahassee next week.
All right. Would you expect that this issue will come up early on?
As I've been reading and talking to school board members as well as teachers, this is one of the governor's top priorities. So I am sure historically this is something we'll see very early.
Yeah. Well, State Representative Tracy Davis in Jacksonville, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate hearing some of your insights and your experience to go along with it as we head into the start of this new legislative session, which begins with those committee weeks next week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ken. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so more to talk about with this specific issue. We're going to bring in the president of the FEA. That's Andrew Spar. It's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
If you've been injured by medical malpractice, call Farah & Farah for a free review of your case, even if another firm has turned your case down. Farah & Farah.
Impossible.
Zero Sugar Chobani is here.
Zero Sugar Chobani has zero sugar?
Zero sugar.
Define zero.
And it's lactose free.
Naturally.
And 60 calories?
Impossibly delicious.
Impossible.
Okay, I'm up. 5 more minutes.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
With more days to play and more ways to win, Powerball just got more powerful. Play the new Powered Up Powerball from the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop. Shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop. Shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
For cup holders. For all the water the internet told you to drink. Alexa, for finding the nearest bathroom. bathroom. The 2022 Toyota Corolla. Right now, lease a new 2022 Toyota Corolla LE for just $219 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Fall together with Lowe's to find great values this season. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Military-grade mosquito killer, Tuesday at 5 p.m. on News 4 Jax.
Let's break it down one more time. You only pay if you win. Your case equals free unless we win.
You don't have to be a genius to hire America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan.
When it comes to keeping you informed, the sky is the limit.
A live look from our tower cam.
News 4 Jax, empowering you with a county-by-county network of 15 aerial cameras, showing you this.
Traffic in both directions.
So you can avoid seeing this. Built for the elements. So you can see threats from miles away. A window to the world on all your screens. The News 4 Jax Skycam Network. You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
They've been called high-stakes testing, and Florida leadership wants to move on from the FSAs. Joining us right now by Zoom, Andrew Spar, president of the Florida Education Association. Mr. Spar, as you join us here, initial thoughts for you seem pretty positive on this move. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, look, educators, teachers, administrators, parents have been asking for an end to this one-shot deal of high-stakes testing for a long time. And it's somewhat feels good that we're being heard in the sense that we're not going to use a one test given at one time that really disrupts the learning for many, many weeks at the end of the school year, be that deciding factor for kids and for teachers and the like. It doesn't mean accountability is going away, but it certainly means it's not going to be based on a single test where a bar is set and you say, kids, can you reach that bar or not?
So in my conversation a moment ago with the state representative, Tracy Davis, I asked this too, and used the phrase high stakes, high standards. Don't those things make students work hard to achieve?
Look, teachers invented tests. Let's face it, tests have been around since the beginning of time. And so we know the importance of assessing students. We also know the importance of being able to use that assessment in a way to help students grow and learn. And so that's where the shift is going to take place, right? Instead of using one test given at one time that doesn't always relate to everything that's going on in the classroom, we're talking about using we're talking about using these progress monitoring assessments. And so progress monitoring is you basically give a test at the beginning of the year to see where kids are. You have a benchmark test in the middle of the year to kind of see, are they making progress? Do you need to make any adjustments or give any additional supports to the students? And then you have an assessment at the end of the year. Again, something we've been doing in our classrooms since the beginning of time and is actually required right now of school districts in the state of Florida. So again, we're talking about using what we have, measuring student learning in the terms of their growth, and then being able to make adjustments as we go throughout the year.
You certainly made the point. We've been using tests since the beginning of time. That made me laugh. It sounds right to me. Hey, I want our audience, I want all of us to hear what Governor DeSantis just said when he made the announcement, explaining what he believes will be some of the advantages.
There's going to be more feedback. There's going to be more individualized assessments that are going to be possible. And there's going to be an ability to be able to rectify some of the problems in ways that if you're not using progress monitoring, you're just relying on the FSA, the ship sails by the time they take that exam.
Andrew Spar, I have not seen you or your predecessor with FEA cheering too often for Governor DeSantis or for Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran. Why is this different?
I think what you see is a response by the commissioner and the Department of Education to what educators have been saying. And when I say educators, I'm talking about our teachers and our staff. I'm talking about administrators. And quite honestly, I'm talking about parents too, who've been saying, let's move away from this one-shot deal that disrupts the learning at the end of the year. Let's build into the system a process that educators really drive and develop that really helps us determine where kids are going and growing so that we can more effectively tailor instruction to individual students. So the governor's right when he says the hope here is that we're going to be able to customize this a little bit more to students. Again, instead of setting an arbitrary number, an arbitrary bar and saying kids reach this level, we're looking at each individual student and making sure that their performance is improving against themselves and that they're learning and growing. I will say this, Kent, we've got to make sure that we get this right. And there's still a legislative process to go through. There's a lot of discussions that are going to take place. And we certainly want to be part and intend to be part of those conversations as we move forward.
Does it give you some hope for compromise or for working together with the governor's office on other issues important to educators?
Well, we'll take it where we can get it. We believe in working together. We believe education and supporting our public schools is a nonpartisan issue. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, when we do polls, voters, whether they are registered Republicans, Democrats, no party affiliation or other party, everyone says having a strong public school system is important to our community. It's important to who we are as a society, and it's important to our democracy. Everyone says that. It pulls off the chart that we should support our public schools, we should support our teachers and our staff who work there, and we should make sure that our students are a priority in our state.
So I'm going to shift topics just a little bit, but while I've got you, what about this ongoing mask mandate ban debate? And now really it's a legal battle. This is something that I don't think you agree with the governor's office at all on, right?
Look, I think what we have to do, and educators know this, for over 20 years, people have not listened to the educators. They haven't seen us as experts. And we're seeing that now in the medical field, not listening to the medical professionals who are the experts. They're trained on this. They do research on this. So it kind of baffles our mind that we aren't doing everything we can to keep kids and the people who work in our schools safe. You look at where mask mandates were put in places like Broward County, Miami-Dade County, Alachua County at the start of the year. They didn't have these spikes in COVID cases in the schools like we saw in Hillsborough before they put a mask mandate in place, or Brevard County or Duval County before these mask mandates were put into place. So again, it's not just masks, and we shouldn't just get caught up in a conversation around masks. We should be talking about all protocols and procedures that we should be doing in our schools right now, such as air purifiers, upgrading air conditioning units to ensure the air quality is good, doing regular COVID testing and the like, which all costs money. And it's one of the reasons we continue to criticize the governor, because he's holding on to over $8 billion with a B, $1 billion in federal stimulus money that was sent down and meant to go to school districts. That's what was passed under both President Trump and President Biden, that should get to school districts. And the governor should release that money.
All right. Well, Andrew Spar, I appreciate it. Florida Education Association, kind of working on behalf of our educators, and certainly in those topics, trying to, as you put it, make sure we get it right when it comes to the new testing, and certainly what we do to try and take care of and protect our students and staff and education system. Thank you so much for your time today. So Mark Lamping leads the Jaguars executive team, also leads Iguana Investments. We're going to hear the in-depth conversation between News4Jax anchor Bruce Hamilton and the Jaguars president about developing the shipyards. That's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
It's not your fault that a hurricane destroyed your roof or a busted pipe ruined your kitchen. When the insurance company denies your claim or sends you a lowball offer, call the property insurance lawyers at Farah & Farah, and we'll fight to get you paid.
This is Ford Truck Month. Time to take a ride in the all-new 2021 Ford F-150 with an available 12-inch touchscreen, an available interior work surface, and for powerful performance on demand, a class-exclusive available ProPower onboard mobile generator. These are America's best-selling trucks. This is Ford Truck Month. Now get 0% financing for 72 months plus 1,000 retail custom order bonus cash on F-150 only during Ford Truck Month.
If you could know what's on his mind, if your heart could feel the way her heart feels. But kids don't wear their thoughts on their sleeves. So it's time to give them a voice. Our mission at On Our Sleeves, to provide every child in America with free mental health resources. Developed by trusted pediatric behavioral health experts.
You just want to meet your new niece.
Here she is.
But if slow upload speeds were to freeze your face and you accidentally snub a newborn,
Nothing is ever good enough for you.
just remember, you're not a bad sister.
This is going to be a problem.
You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience with 25 times faster upload speeds than cable. Get AT&T Fiber. Plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
Is Angel Soft an ideal balance of softness and strength and more sheets? This mom thinks so.
All done?
Yep.
No more?
Yep.
Good job.
Go again.
Angel Soft, an ideal balance of softness and strength and more sheets.
Is it too early to start celebrating Halloween? Well, if you're celebrating by eating Reese's, then no. You're actually late. Not sorry, Reese's.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much.
Fall in love with the highly awarded L certified by Lexus, a collection of pre-owned vehicles.
During the Fall Collection Sales Event, get special offers on select L-certified models.
Exclusively at your Lexus dealer.
It's a fact. More people die from medical malpractice than in car accidents. If you suspect a doctor or a hospital is to blame for an injury, call Farah & Farah. We specialize in these types of cases. Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Downtown development and activating the riverfront. Those are long-held goals in the city of Jacksonville that may be coming true in the near future. This week, City Council began the process of considering the $400 million proposal from the Jaguars. $115 million of it would come from taxpayer money. News4Jax anchor Bruce Hamilton spoke exclusively with team president Mark Lamping as they walked the Shipyards property together.
Do you think people understand that the Jacksonville Jaguars are about so much more than football?
I think so. I mean, if you talk to the many thousands of people that we hire, are not only our full-time employees, but game day employees, whether it's through the stadium or through Daly's place. I think people understand that it's more than just football. If you talk to the not-for-profits in this community that we're privileged to be able to support, I think they see us as more than just a football team. We've been doing a little bit more of is, letting people know what we do, because as we went through this process and I would explain to people what our real commitment to the community is and how that manifests itself in terms of our investment in the community, many would say I wasn't even aware of that. That's sort of Shad's nature. Shad's nature is not to put his name on a bunch of buildings. Because I think sometimes people don't really connect what we're doing. So, we have gotten a little more aggressive in explaining to people what we're doing. We're really, really proud and hopeful for what can happen with the Out East neighborhood. I mean, literally, it's right next to the stadium, just to the north of us, and it's a tremendously underserved. It's a tremendously underserved neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood that has such a rich tradition and really high quality people that are committed to not only living there but also doing everything they can to help provide the services and the opportunities that those residents deserve. And we're really proud to be a partner with other companies and other individuals in terms of supporting Lift Jacks and what they have planned. And I think yes, I think people do know that we're more than just a team that plays NFL football on Sundays.
While other proposals over the years for the Shipyards have failed, there is growing optimism among supporters that this proposal will succeed. Among the arguments by the developers is that this growth may inspire other growth.
I think this project really will be a catalyst for other development. I think there's no question about that. You already see it in terms of a lot of speculators that have come in and been buying property in and around here in anticipation of this development. And that's the objective. If we can begin to have the right balance of public access, public parks, and well thought out development, and do it in a way that it can spur other development, we can connect this part of downtown with the commercial business district. And I think that'll probably put us in a position as a community to not only get closer to realizing what our full potential is, but also begin to enhance what we call the destination economy, which is really tourists, coming into Jacksonville. And that type of balance of people that are living downtown, people that are working downtown, that's critically important, but also people visiting. And hopefully people from outside the region will be visiting, because that imports dollars into the community, expands the tax base, and provides the opportunity to benefit all citizens.
Not all citizens have been fully supportive of spending city tax dollars on efforts by the Jaguars, concerned that it's just benefiting a professional football team. Bruce asked the Jags president for his view, considering Lamping helped build MetLife Stadium for the New York football teams and was president of the baseball club in St. Louis.
Jacksonville has had a challenge in realizing its potential, in trying to figure out what it wanted to be. What's been the biggest obstacle in your mind?
Just in terms of my time here, I think as a community, we're really, really good at making plans. I think we could improve at executing those plans.
But there's something that gets in the way of the follow-through. Is it a mindset? Is it that, okay, we're worried about, we might be taxed? Is there a lack of understanding that you've got to spend money in order to make money? Take Shad Khan, for example. He's a billionaire, so we think he's the one that should be the one who's investing in it all. And we don't understand really how this works.
Amazon came to Jacksonville not that long ago, and the city did a great job of attracting them and provided them some incentives to build their first distribution center. Now, since that time, they've built multiple distribution centers. They employ thousands of people here in Jacksonville, okay? But the owner, the largest shareholder in Amazon, builds his own rocket and flies to outer space, okay? He's one of the Jeff Bezos, one of the richest people in the world, okay? So I don't think anyone would suggest that attracting Amazon wasn't a great thing for this community, and to somehow say, Jeff Bezos didn't need any help from the taxpayers, therefore, let him choose to build that someplace else. I think that's somewhat short-sighted.
Jacksonville City Council will vote on the shipyard plan in about 6 weeks. If approved, construction could begin next year. All right, Florida Speaker of the House Chris Sprowls is on the guest list for next week. We're going to discuss things as committee weeks begin in Tallahassee. Plus, the Laura Street Trio redevelopment project has council approval and some money on the way. We'll explore that. This Week in Jacksonville airs each Sunday morning at this time. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air on Channel 4 and the CW17 and online at news4jax.com.
See why every day more people are choosing News 4 Jax, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.